Power is not just about money in the Gilded Age. It's about respect, position, and knowing exactly when to strike. And now, Bertha Russell is ready to make her final move, the one she's been building towards all season. With the entire city watching, she's done waiting for approval. In episode 8, the season finale, Bertha's ambitions reach their highest point yet. But this time, the cost might be more personal than she expected. Bertha Russell's journey has never been just about parties and dresses. It has always been about climbing to the very top of New York's rigid society and doing it her way. From the beginning of Season 3, Bertha has been carefully crafting her reputation, balancing her position between old-money families and the rising industrial elite. She's used her home, her wealth, and her willpower to carve out space where she was never supposed to belong. But in this finale, she's not just fighting for acceptance, she's aiming to dominate. In episode 8, all of Bertha's planning, schemes, and strategy come together. The stakes are higher than ever. There's talk of a social event that could redefine her legacy, a bold, public move that forces the old guard to either kneel or be forgotten. Bertha knows she's on the edge of something massive, but her confidence isn't just about ambition, it's about timing. Every word, every invitation, every look she gives, it's all part of her final play. But power like this doesn't come without enemies. Mrs. Astor, the symbol of old money tradition, is quietly planning her response. She knows Bertha's growing influence threatens the very rules of their world, and this time she might not fight alone. Bertha's rise has made her powerful, but it's also made her dangerous to those who once ruled unchallenged. Now, the whispers are louder, alliances are shifting, and Bertha might find herself facing more than just social snubs. Still, Bertha isn't the type to back down. She's willing to risk everything, her friendships, her marriage, even her daughter's future, to prove she belongs at the top. In one powerful moment hinted at in the promo, Bertha stands alone at a grand event, wearing a look not of fear, but of victory. It's the kind of scene that reminds us, this isn't just a woman climbing a ladder, it's a woman rebuilding the ladder entirely. As the season closes, one thing is clear. Bertha Russell didn't just play the game, she changed it. But will her final move secure her place forever or open the door to a new set of battles she didn't see coming? Marian Brooke has always walked the line between two worlds, the strict traditions of her Aunt Agnes and the quiet desire in her own heart to live a life on her own terms. But in this season's final episode, that line finally vanishes. Marian must choose, and no matter which path she takes, something will break. From the start of Season 3, Marian has been tested again and again. Whether it was her hidden teaching job, her complicated feelings for Dashiell, or her struggle to stay true to her values while living under Agnes's roof, Marian's journey has been about inner conflict. She is a woman caught between duty and independence, torn between pleasing her family and following her instincts. And now, everything comes to a head in episode 8. In the promo, we catch glimpses of Marian in moments that feel heavier, more final. She's no longer drifting quietly through other people's decisions. She's facing one of her own. Dashiell, who seemed like a safe future, now feels like a threat to her freedom. But the real weight doesn't just come from him. It comes from what marrying him would symbolize. It's not about love anymore. It's about whether Marian is willing to trade her voice for a seat at a table she never wanted to be at in the first place. Then there's Aunt Agnes, who continues to stand firm in her beliefs. She sees Marian's desire for a life outside the norm as foolish, even dangerous. Agnes doesn't just worry about scandal, she worries about survival. In her mind, security comes from tradition, from marrying well, from never stepping outside the path laid before you. To her, independence is a luxury that women like Marian can't afford. And in many ways, Agnes's fear is rooted in experience, not cruelty. She's lost too much to believe in fairy tales. But Marian isn't a child anymore, and she's not interested in playing someone else's part in this story. What makes Marian's situation even more emotional is the quiet support she receives from those on the edges. Mrs. Chamberlain, once an outsider herself, sees something familiar in Marian's struggle. She offers advice not just as a friend, but as a warning. The cost of freedom is real, but so is the regret of never choosing it. Even Peggy, who has taken bold steps this season to reclaim her own life, serves as a reminder that strength doesn't always come from fitting in. Sometimes it comes from walking away. But Marian isn't impulsive. She's thoughtful, careful, and this decision weighs on her like nothing before. If she stays, she keeps the approval of her family, the comforts of wealth, and the certainty of stability. But if she walks away, she keeps her sense of self, the fire that makes her different in a world full of quiet, obedient women. By the time the episode reaches its climax, Marian stands at a crossroads. And this isn't just about love or marriage, it's about identity. It's about the kind of woman she wants to become and the kind of future she's willing to fight for. The promo hints at a final moment where Marian makes a choice that could shock her entire circle. Whether it's a refusal at the altar, a decision to leave her aunt's home, or something even more unexpected, one thing is certain: she won't stay silent anymore. Marian's journey this season has been quiet but powerful. She's learned that not all rebellion looks like a fight. Sometimes it's a whisper, sometimes it's a no, and sometimes it's simply walking away with your head held high. As the curtain begins to fall on Season 3, Marian's choice will echo louder than anyone expects, not just for her, but for every woman watching her from the sidelines. Every second of the Season 3 Episode 8 promo feels deliberate, a glance that lasts too long, a door that shuts with quiet finality, a whispered line over elegant music. On the surface, it's just another trailer, but for longtime fans of the Gilded Age, it's a coded message, a warning, a promise, a turning point. This finale isn't just the end of a season. It's a shift in power, trust, and identity, and the clues are hidden in plain sight. Let's begin with Bertha Russell. In one of the most striking shots, she walks through a lavish ballroom in slow motion, surrounded by guests but emotionally alone. Her face is calm, but there's something hard in her eyes, something cold. That single moment says more than dialogue ever could. This isn't about celebration, it's about domination. Her expression doesn't ask for approval, it demands recognition. And the detail most viewers miss: the subtle movement of the crowd. People are turning toward her, not away. For the first time, she isn't chasing them, they're circling her. Then there's George Russell. He appears only briefly in the promo, but the placement of his scene says everything. He's seen observing Bertha from a distance, not speaking, simply watching. For a couple that has always been a team, even in the middle of chaos, that distance is suspicious. Is George beginning to question how far Bertha is willing to go? Or is he simply trying to protect her from the social enemies piling up behind her back? The promo doesn't say, but his silence says enough. Marian's scenes are even more layered. One frame shows her pausing at the edge of a staircase, clutching a letter in her hand. The shot cuts before we see what's written, but her expression gives it away. It's something heavy, something personal. A rejection, a confession, or maybe a goodbye. In another blink and you'll miss it shot, Marian and Dashiell are standing in a garden, with her body turned slightly away from him. He reaches out, but she doesn't meet his eyes. There's no tenderness in her face, just restraint, control. It's the moment a woman realizes she's done pretending. Aunt Agnes, of course, appears as rigid as ever. In one promo scene, she sits alone by a fireplace, her fingers tight around a teacup. But look closer, the fire isn't lit. The room feels cold. That's no accident. Agnes may still believe she's the keeper of tradition, but her power is dimming. And this symbolic image, the proud matriarch in a room with no warmth, may be hinting at a loss she isn't ready to accept. Is Marian slipping away? Is the world changing too fast for her to stop it? Peggy Scott's appearance in the promo is brief, but important. She's seen entering a building with urgency, her coat still buttoned, her eyes sharp. She's chasing a story, or running from one. Given what we've seen this season about her rising career in journalism and her complicated past, this moment could tie into something major. A final article that exposes a secret? A decision that threatens her position in society? HBO doesn't give us the answer. But it's clear she's moving towards something that matters. And then there's a single shot that rewrites everything. A hand, gloved, trembling, reaches for a door. We don't know who it belongs to. It could be Mrs. Astor. It could be Oscar. It could even be one of the newer characters introduced this season. But it's the context that matters. This moment is framed like a climax, a confrontation. Someone is about to step into a space they were never meant to enter, and when they do, nothing will stay the same. Throughout the promo, there are no loud arguments, no violent outbursts, just tension. Quiet, burning tension, the kind that feels more dangerous than yelling. HBO knows exactly what it's doing, building a storm with just a few raindrops. And for fans who've paid close attention, it's clear, something is about to snap. There are other clues too. Oscar Van Ryn isn't featured at all in this promo, which in itself is suspicious. After being involved in so many side plots this season, his absence might suggest a brewing scandal. Could he be tied to a subplot that explodes in the final episode? Or is HBO hiding his storyline to avoid spoiling a major twist? Even the music in the promo changes tone halfway through. It begins with soft strings, graceful and poised. But near the middle, a deeper note slips in, a slow, haunting hum underneath the elegance. That's not random. It mirrors the story's transformation, from polished surface to shadowy reality. In short, this promo isn't just promoting a finale, it's hiding a reckoning. The Gilded Age has always been about what's unsaid, what's whispered behind closed doors, what's felt but not spoken. And Episode 8 promises to be the most emotionally explosive chapter yet. These clues, scattered across a few seconds of footage, are just the beginning. Now we wait. And while we wait, we wonder, who will walk away with everything and who will leave with nothing? The finale of Season 3 may bring the curtain down on this chapter of the Gilded Age, but if the promo and its heavy silences have told us anything, it's this. Not everything will be resolved. In fact, some stories are only just beginning. Beneath the polished gowns, sharp glances, and glittering chandeliers, the world of these characters is changing. And when the music stops after Episode 8, the question won't be who won, it'll be who's still standing. Let's start with Bertha. If her final move plays out as boldly as the promo teases, she won't just have earned a place in society, she will have redefined it. But that kind of success doesn't come without backlash. Even if she secures the support of influential families or stages a cultural coup that forces the old money elite to kneel, it won't be the end of her battles. It will be the start of a new era, one where she's no longer the outsider, but the woman in power that everyone wants to either impress or destroy. Bertha's war has always been social, but Season 4 could force her to face challenges she hasn't yet seen: political ambitions, betrayals within her own household, or even sabotage from those she helped raise up. And what happens when someone who's always fought from below suddenly has to protect the top? The next season could reveal that staying powerful in New York is far harder than becoming powerful. And George? His quiet stares and measured steps in the promo suggest something deeper is coming. We've seen him support Bertha's goals with a rare patience, but as her ambitions grow, will he still feel like her equal, or simply her banker? George has always been a businessman first, but he's also a man of principle. If Bertha crosses a line that threatens their unity or risks their family's reputation, the very foundation of their marriage might shake. Season 4 could bring a cold war behind closed doors, one where love must wrestle with pride. Then there's Marian. If she does what many viewers expect, breaking free from Dashiell, from Agnes, from the rigid mold they've tried to force her into, she will enter Season 4 as a woman untethered. That freedom may feel powerful, but it's also lonely. Society isn't kind to women who walk away from its rules. And while Marian has ideals, she'll also need allies. Will she and Peggy grow closer as two women building something new outside the limits of their time? Or will Marian find herself drifting, searching for purpose in a world still shaped by people like Agnes? Speaking of Peggy, her storyline could evolve more than any other. She's already stepped into a role beyond the social expectations placed on her. With her career gaining strength and her voice growing louder, Season 4 might be the season she stops reporting on change and becomes the cause of it. What happens when Peggy starts writing the truth about the powerful people around her? Will she uncover scandals that others want buried? Could her pen be sharper than any of the social barbs thrown in drawing rooms? Oscar Van Ryn's future also looms large. His absence from the finale's promo is suspicious and could be intentional. After seasons of secrecy, manipulation, and hidden desires, Oscar's world may be on the edge of collapse. If someone exposes his private life, or if one of his many careful lies unravels, Season 4 could become a crisis of survival for him. He's always played the part of the charming bachelor with ambition, but underneath lies a man trying desperately to keep his truth hidden in a society that punishes difference. Will he finally face the consequences of the life he's built? And Agnes, proud, stubborn Agnes, may have her greatest reckoning ahead. For years, she has held her family together with rules and rigidity, but the world outside her walls is changing faster than she can control. If Marian walks away, if the Van Ryn name loses its influence, Agnes may be left behind, not as a leader, but as a relic. Season 4 could explore what it means for a woman like her to face irrelevance. Will she adopt or double down on the past until it breaks her? More importantly, Season 4 may move beyond just society balls and family drama. The whispers of politics, labor movements, and social change are growing louder in the background of the show. The world of the Gilded Age is no longer just about who sits at whose dinner table. It's about who's writing the future. Women are pushing back. Workers are organizing. Secrets are turning into scandals. The next season could take the stories we love and drop them into a much more dangerous world, one where reputation won't be enough to protect anyone. So what's next? A reshuffled social order, relationships tested by truth, power finally confronted by justice. And at the center of it all, characters who must decide whether they'll change with the times or be destroyed by them. This finale might close a few doors, but in true Gilded Age fashion, it opens even more.